So Senator Sullivan, I know you have an introduction of Ms. Fenton.
Thank you, Senator Capito, and the chair. Thank you for the opportunity to introduce Jocelyn Fenton, who's the interim federal co-chair of the Denali Commission. So a little bit of background on the Denali Commission. This was Senator Stevens and Congressman Young's focus on bringing national attention to the immense challenges in unique situations that many of my constituents in rural Alaska face. So they designed the Denali Commission with members of Congress in the Senate and the House for a way in which to address these unique challenges that are often make life in Alaska much more costly and complex than our friends in the lower 48, as we call the rest of you guys, except Hawaii. Let me give you a couple examples. Most of our villages cannot be accessed by roads. So it's either you got to fly there, or if they're on a river, take a boat or a snow machine during the winter. That's 86% of Alaskan communities are not connected by roads. In the lower 48, people can't even conceive of that. Most of our state is that. We have over 30 communities in Alaska that have no running water or flush toilets. So think about that. American citizens who use what we call honey buckets in Alaska. Thousands of Alaskans use honey buckets. That's third world sanitation. That's just not right. By the way, Madam Chair, some of the most patriotic communities in the country, my state has more veterans per capita than any state in the country, and Alaska Natives, where most of these challenges are, and their villages serve at higher rates in the military than any other ethnic group in the country. And yet, they go to the bathroom with honey buckets. Most of these communities are powered by diesel and are not on any kind of grid system. So I like to say Alaska's resource-rich, infrastructure poor. We have less road miles than Connecticut, and yet we are 120 times bigger than Connecticut. So the Denali Commission has catalyzed much-needed development, particularly with a focus on infrastructure, water and sewer, power generation, transmission facilities, basic clinics, and communication systems, much of which is just expected if you lived in the lower 48. Through vital tribal, state, and federal partnerships, the Commission has worked on a whole host of these kind of infrastructure projects and workforce development projects that bring resiliency to over 300 communities, as I've said. Due to its proven success, the Denali Commission has become an invaluable asset for Alaska and our nation on building out infrastructure, which is what I think every member of the Senate agrees is important for all Americans. And just recently, the Department of Defense, recognizing the Commission's reach and strategic importance, identified it as a key partner in implementing the national strategy for the Department of Defense for the Arctic region. So an even broader element of the Denali Commission's relevance. With regard to Jocelyn, she's been doing a great job. She serves in a number of capacities, and including this co-chair position on the Denali Commission, several boards involving our military, involving our Native communities, involving our universities, involving Arctic leadership initiatives. Jocelyn, I have no idea when you sleep when I was reading your resume, but it's really impressive. Thanks for your great work. Thanks for your dedication and commitment to the people of Alaska. And Madam Chair, this is a commission that not a lot of people know about, but it's really punched above its weight on issues that matter to all Alaskans and all Americans. That's basic infrastructure, which this committee is all about. Thank you very much.
Good morning, Mr. Chairman, Ranking Member Capito, and honorable members of the committee and staff. Thank you for inviting me to testify and providing an opportunity to present you with an update of the Denali Commission in concert with the other regional commissions. We thank you and the members of Congress who have recognized the achievements and value of the Denali Commission over the last 25 years. whose purpose is to deliver services of the federal government in the most cost-effective manner. Alaska is home to 229 tribes and 160 municipalities, ranging in size from about 20 to 300,000 residents. 86% of municipalities are not connected to the road system, which means everything needs to be barged or flown in. It can increase, it can drive up costs and create logistical challenges, especially in inclement weather. Many of the smaller communities do not have much in the way of a cash economy, and many who live there have deep-rooted cultural and subsistence lifestyle, which not only provides the customs and foods they consume, but they are also techniques and traditions that are valued and that should be preserved for future generations. For fiscal year 2024, the Commission will be making awards that total just over $32 million, of which 93% will go to distressed areas. I like to say we were Justice 40 before Justice 40 was cool. The Denali Commission has been most successful by focusing on preparing projects for larger funding programs, by providing planning or design assistance, gap funding when projects experience unexpected cost increases or delays, or by contributing to a community's non-federal match local requirement. In those areas where the infrastructure base is frequently decades behind the rest of the country, municipalities often don't have tax authority, and there's not much to tax if they did. We appreciate the consideration of lowering local match requirements for distressed tribal and Alaska Native villages. The Denali Commission and other regional commissions have the unique authorities and tools and are best positioned to support disadvantaged rural populations. In the last 6 years, the Commission has expanded its program offerings, diversifying back into its legacy programs and adding new programs to reflect critical needs, the public funding available at the time, and to leverage partnership opportunities. Over the life of the Commission, we have modified programs to reflect the needs and public funding available at the time. There are 3 ways that we facilitate investments. 1, priority lists, such as the Rural Power System Upgrade Program, the Bulk Fuel Upgrade Program, statewide threat assessment for communities facing environmental threats, the Sanitation Deficiency System, and in the early 2000s, a list for rural primary care clinics. 2, annual competitive funding opportunities. And 3, individual discretionary funding through justifications, partnerships, and transfers. Allow me to share some of the highlights that reflect the administration's goals and describe some innovative partnerships. For energy, our program focuses on rural power system upgrades while incorporating renewables. A recently completed 900-kilowatt wind turbine and connection to the existing electrical distribution system between Stebbins and St. Michael now provides fluctuation-resistant wind energy, offsetting hundreds of gallons of diesel each year and facilitating days of diesel-off operation in both communities. For bulk fuel, Denali Commission is at the forefront of addressing the urgent need to upgrade Alaska's aging bulk fuel farms, which are vital for powering communities. Despite a $250 million investment over 25 years, less than 50% of the need has been met, while climate change accelerates infrastructure decay. The Commission is exploring efficiencies and advocating for urgent action to prevent an impending environmental crisis due to deteriorating fuel storage infrastructure, some of which is up to 75 years old. Many tanks have outlived their foundations and are sitting on the ground, some without secondary containment. For transportation, in fiscal years 22 and 23, through newfound partnerships and collaboration with the State of Alaska and Federal Highways, the recently reinvigorated transportation program awarded 59 surface and waterfront improvement projects for a combined total of $33 million for the direct benefit of 49 communities around the state. For housing, notable projects to encourage housing innovation and de-risk private development include affordable housing assessments and strategy development, climate-specific housing best practices, site control, platting, surveying, given land ownership and complications on tribal lands, and continually evaluating the housing life cycle, assessing timber utilization, better sawmills to develop rural home kits, locally produced trusses, and everything in between. The Commission is advancing materials science and additive manufacturing in Alaska by developing the state's first 3D concrete printed house and a rural-specific infrastructure printing robot. Through partnerships with leading research institutions and local organizations, The Commission is paving the way for utilizing local materials like gravel and biomass to reduce supply chain costs, enhance automation, and tackle workforce challenges, all while driving innovation in construction technology. For water and sanitation, about 20% of Alaska Native homes in rural Alaska lack access to water and sewer services. Many solid waste systems in rural Alaska also lack protections for human health and the environment. The sanitation program benefits from the Commission's unique transfer authority in several ways. We have a partnership with Indian Health Service with a transfer from the Commission to Indian Health Service, and then we also have partnerships where EPA transfers funds to the Commission to consolidate and combine funding for the progress of rural Alaska. Recognizing the benefits that broadband brings to rural area, since 2019, utilizing just under $3 million, the Commission has initiated comprehensive outreach efforts to assist and fund in-depth applications to achieve 187 independent 2.5 gigahertz FCC tribal licenses, in addition to our recent leveraging of over $200 million in broadband deployment since 2022. For workforce and economic development, we have found timely success through reinvigorating the regional Alaska development organizations, each with a $75,000 grant and a simple instruction to double that funding to promote a pipeline of projects within a year. This led to a partnership leveraging $49 million award from the EDA's Build Back Better Regional Challenge. This award is anticipated to grow the mariculture industry to a target of $325 million per year, supporting 1,800 jobs across the state from Ketchikan to southeast to Unalaska, far out in the Aleutian chain, over the next 20 years. Other innovative partnerships include promoting the recreation economy, both through direct awards to recipients and financially participating in EPA's recreation economy for rural communities program for at least 2 projects in Alaska. Our Village Infrastructure Protection Program works with tribal, local, regional, state, and federal partners to continue to support the resilience of Alaskan communities by protecting public investment in critical infrastructure. We fund the planning, partnership, and construction efforts to move communities to safer environments while also protecting communities in place and assisting in a managed retreat. For land and water resources, we are in the beginning stages of setting up a forestry, soil, and water conservation program, partnering with USDA Forest Service and Natural Resource Conservation Service. This program will provide technical assistance to soil and water conservation districts, match funding when needed, and work with other agriculture producers to promote food security, wood use innovations, biomass energy, insulation and other building materials, biofuel mitigation, and stream habitat improvements. Lastly, as the only Alaska-headquartered federal agency, the Denali Commission serves as a critical hub for White House-led working groups and Arctic policy. As a principal member of the Arctic Executive Steering Committee under the Executive Office of the President and the Interagency Arctic Policy Committee, the Commission offers direct advocacy for pressing scientific and policy needs. This includes updating the statewide threat assessment for IARPIC's risk management and hazard mitigation priorities, asset mapping for infrastructure prediction, and long-term data management. The Commission actively promotes Arctic security through its involvement through the National Strategy for the Arctic Region and other intergovernmental efforts, recognizing that a resilient Arctic is essential for broader security. The regional commissions were all created as a federal-state partnership to focus on the needs of rural communities, and the Denali Commission prides itself in the successes seen from working closely with the state of Alaska, federal partners, tribes, tribal consortia, and other non-federal entities to address these growing challenges. After 25 years of service, and particularly in the last 6 years, I am quite proud of the progress we've made in supporting Alaska's future.